Welcome back to Glitchy University. In this video, we will cover TikTok paid ad creatives. So let's start with TikTok clips. The first 2 to 5 seconds of your ad creative are the most important for grabbing attention. However, when you're sourcing clips, for example, just by scrolling through TikTok, don't limit yourself to own the first few seconds of that video. You might find the perfect segment later on in that clip, so feel free to just cut and use that specific part. The most important thing is that the start of your final ad needs to be impactful. So let's go over what you need to look for in clips. When selecting clips, look for content that stands out. This could be something unusual, strong emotions or reactions, clear actions, or intriguing products. Finding unique and unusual content is the key to making your creative successful. This element will help capture attention immediately. You can source clips on platforms like Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. These are great places for raw videos to then use. Now let's touch on finding inspiration and also doing research on what other people are doing. Now, while I can't stress enough how important it is to be unique when making an ad, understanding what other people are doing is also incredibly valuable. You can find inspiration and also to see what's performing well by exploring resources like the TikTok Creative Center or other third-party ad spy tools. Now you can then use these tools to see what other people are doing, their strategies, and identify what sort of formats work really well. Just keep in mind that replicating a winning ad one-for-one will never perform nearly as well as the original. When you start seeing some good success or you already have some capital, I highly recommend investing in some custom UGC clips. You can hire an influencer or creator to produce content specifically for your ad, giving precise instructions to make sure it meets the needs for your offer. Now let's just go over hooks in some more detail. Hooks are very critical and often overlooked. A strong hook is essential to keep viewers watching within those first few seconds. I mean, just think about it in this way. You can make the perfect ad which was incredibly high converting, but if no one actually saw past the first 5 seconds of your ads, it wouldn't make any difference. Now, the first of these effective hook strategies is using seasonal promotions. You can use holidays like summer deals, Christmas, or Black Friday to give viewers a sense of FOMO and get them to keep watching the rest of the ad. For example, you can make a caption saying something like, "Why did no one tell me about these summer deals?" Now, another hook strategy is to create curiosity and excitement among your viewers. For example, you could say, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe no one told me about this sooner." And one more hook strategy you could use is highlighting savings. People love saving money. So if your offer or the thing you're promoting aligns with this sort of idea or they have some sort of promotion, then I'd definitely mention that in the actual ad. Now, the one that I believe is the most important is the visual hook. If you can find something that's visually appealing and will make the viewer stop scrolling that actually aligns with the thing you're promoting, then just make sure this visual hook can be seen for the first 3 to 10 seconds of your ad creative. Okay, now let's go over what makes a creative convert on TikTok. First up, you need to be unique. Don't just copy what others are doing. Develop a unique concept informed by your research. Mastering the creation of high converting original creatives is a really valuable skill. Now let's also not forget TikTok trends. By staying up to date on the latest trends and sounds, you can differentiate yourself from most advertisers. Now this is super simple to do. You just have to make sure you're on TikTok on the For You page engaging with popular posts which have some sort of trend to them. This will really help you understand what is currently popular. Now let's also go over the strong call to action. Clearly tell viewers what to do next. For example, you could say, "I linked it below," or "click the link." We also have the importance of content that appears to be user generated. TikTok users are way more accustomed to this and would prefer it way more over overproduced advertisement. Now by doing this, TikTok's algorithm will also favor your content in the ads platform. As for actually explaining the offer or the thing you're promoting, you can either go the route of making them interested enough to click on the link and then explain more of it on the landing page, or you can just explain it in the actual creative. You can clearly state the value or proposition within the first 5 seconds if possible, or just use a hook and then explain it to them later on the video. And always keep in mind that a creative should be ideally around 10 to 20 seconds. Now relatability can also be really useful in the right places, and authenticity is essential. The creative you make must feel genuine. Also, it's important to tailor your creatives for TikTok and don't reuse ads directly from platforms like Facebook or Instagram because they will not perform in the same way. Also, be mindful of TikTok's ad policies and keyword sensitivity. Certain words, claims, or even visual elements, especially related to sensitive topics like finance, health, weight loss, can actually get your ad flagged, restricted, or even rejected. Now that you get an overall idea of what makes a good creative, let's go over some examples of ads which have performed well in the past.
Stop continuing your car insurance if it's more than $27 per month. This is a new plan from Cars Insurance. They are insuring any car in any state as low as $27 per month. Simply submit your car information and instantly get a much better rate.
Now, taking a look at this first example, you can see that right off the bat, it's got a strong hook. It's got an unusual, relatable visual with a messy car and a text overlay. It also has really good clear communication with a voiceover explaining the offer and price really early on. The offer page has a preview just to build some trust and brand awareness, and overall it has a good hook, clear message, and trustworthy elements. This performs well due to grabbing attention, and it is really nice and clear. Now let's take a look at this second example.
I don't even want to do this anymore, and I just feel like everything's just a big scam anyway. But since I don't work for them anymore, I can just tell y'all this. I used to work for this insurance company, and I'm gonna just tell you right now, the longer that you stay does not mean the less that you'll pay over time. In fact, they'll just try to tell you that you're getting this discount and that discount, and a lot of that stuff is just lies. Even the people that work there didn't use the company that we were with, and I can't name names because you know how social media gets. But honestly, if you just use an insurance group or a marketplace and just have the companies fight for your business, that's the easiest way to go about it. One that I use is linked below this video. I pay about $54 for this Tesla, then I pay about $65 for my Ford Raptor. It's the best one that I've been able to work with, and I've been using it for about a few years.
Now, as you can see, it has an intriguing hook with curiosity, with a relatable skepticism and negativity. It has a really popular angle of being an ex-employee, and it's really nice and relatable by being specific, featuring everyday details. Now, let's take a look at this third example.
Not around here, partner. Not around here. Not around here.
This uses a trending audio and it feels native to TikTok. This means that people would watch it whether it was an ad or not. It also has a really solid visual hook. It also has a really good emotional reaction which could stop people from scrolling. It also has some sort of simplicity and clarity to it by quickly showing off the offer page, making the purpose clear even without a voiceover. Now remember, these aren't the only examples you'll find. If you just do some research, you'll be able to find many more and get an understanding of what you should do. Each of those examples shows a different valid approach to making good creative, but remember to focus on a strong hook, be unique, but also informed by research you've done on other creatives, follow some trends, and maintain a UGC sort of look. Also, by being clear as to what you're promoting during the actual creative, you can then make them more likely to convert later on. Now, that covers all of the key elements as to making a really good creative. This is a great point to go along and make your own creatives. Once you've done so, you can then move on to the next part of the TikTok paid ads guide.